going to do a little demo of toner transfer method. This is a piece of 14 gauge aluminum sheet that I'm going to bend into an enclosure. Two pieces of this to make an enclosure. I don't know if you can see the finish there, but it's basically just, I just hit it with a random orbital sander with 120 grit paper, so it's pretty rough finish, nothing special here. Here's my graphic that I'm going to put on there. My laser printer's having some trouble and missed a couple letters down here, so I'll probably cut the bottom part off, but we're going to go ahead and do this quick transfer. This is how I do it. No heat needed, just a bottle of clear lacquer. I use the gloss kind. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. That's just what I've always used. So what we're going to do, by the way, this is printed on the stick, or the waxy side of like sticker paper, or this was a shipping label, like an internet shipping label, a half sheet label. So you peel those two labels off and use them to ship something, and then you use the backing of it for your graphic. My printer's having a little trouble getting the toner to stick to that right now, but it usually, in the past, it's worked really good. So we're just going to hit this with a couple quick coats of lacquer, and then immediately apply, or almost immediately apply our graphic. So just give it a couple light coats. I'll set this down there, you can see. Let it dry for just a second. Sometimes just blow on it just a little bit. You want it to be still tacky, but not wet. Get that lined up and lay it down, and then you're just gonna rub over wherever you've got toner that you want to transfer. I can see through this paper because it's sorry, the camera's probably pretty shaky here. This is very thin backing paper, and you can actually see the graphic right through it, so I can see exactly where I need to rub. Let me see if I can move this camera so it's not shaking so bad. Time is of the essence here, so okay, I think you can still see here. Yeah, you want to get this all while it's still good and tacky, so it's a good idea to go over the parts that are where there's a lot of toner. Go over those parts right away. Make sure you can get those big areas transferred on there, because the longer you wait, the more you have to rub to transfer it on there. And all I'm doing is just rubbing over the parts with toner with my fingers. You can tape this down. That's probably a lot better idea than doing it how I'm doing it now. Just get some like some of this blue painter's tape. It comes off real easy. It doesn't leave any residue on anything. It's real handy. I'm just going to flip this around. I'm going to go ahead and do my anvil graphic down here, although I know the my logo is not going to come out good because it's not printed on there very well to start with. We just rub this down real good. I've got these vines with leaves and with a lot of shading and veining on them on here, so I'm going to go over those real good to try to make sure I get all that detail on there. And this usually just takes, 5 minutes, and you've got a completely done transfer without having to use an iron, without having to wash it off or any of that kind of stuff that you typically have to do with the heat transfer methods. This doesn't work 100% of the time, but if you take your time and do it right and do it quickly, as soon as you get it sprayed, it works quite well. Then make sure that your paper doesn't move. Hold it down, have it taped down, and then you can just peel it away and see how you're doing. And you can see on the paper where there's still toner left to go on there. And actually, to this point, you're looking very nice. And I'm actually, that's good enough where I'm going to lay that back down. There's one little part of that leaf Then I'm going to look at my logo down here on this end. I'll get you a closer view of this. Okay, so I've got most of my anvil is on there. Actually, you can look at the paper and see if you've got any toner left to rub on there. If it's looking a little light, there's just a little bit left there. And my emblem, or my company name didn't come out there on the bottom because I didn't rub over it, because it's missing a couple letters, so I'm going to redo that part. But here I'll show you how we're doing. There is the transferred piece. Here is the paper, and you can just see where the little bit of my company name down there at the bottom, but basically there's no toner on it besides that. We got it all transferred off in there in just about 5 minutes. And what I'll do now, I'll just go ahead and hit it with a couple more coats, real light coats of lacquer, to even it out while it's wet. Except right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little bit of acetone and I'm going to wipe off just this part, and I'm just going to print off just that bottom line, spray it again, and just lay a piece of paper on there with just that bottom line and transfer that on there. But then hit it with a couple coats of lacquer while it's still, in this kind of tacky, not dried stage, not cured, and then come back as that dries and put 3 or 4 coats of lacquer on there to protect it, and that's it. Thanks.